All right, welcome back to Hancock Hobbies. I finished all the work on the bench work. I think I showed you some roughed in stuff last video, but anyway, I've pretty much finished it, and we've painted it green now instead of that gray. This will eventually get covered with, grass and dirt and roads and things, but at first I don't know where to put those things, so we're just going to go green. I went to Cincinnati and back and sold the slot car collection. So I'll put some footage. I did some quick little snippet filming on that drive. Me and my uncle went. And anyway, yesterday I placed a huge order at Train World. So it hasn't been marked as shipped yet, so obviously it's the weekend. Hopefully by the end of next week. Got operating system. I think all the track and switches and the cork. I'm going to use cork road bit under the tracks. I decided on. I've always used code 1. Okay, this is train talk for you slot car people that are still hanging on. HO scale uses code 100 track or code 83. Code 100 is taller, black railroad ties, nickel silver rails. I've always used code 100. It works. There's some older locomotives and rolling stock that need the code 100. They have longer flanges on their wheels. All my stuff's going to be new. And if I buy something, a used rolling stock or something at a train show, I can switch the wheels out with new wheels. So I went with code 83, which is brown railroad ties, and it's shorter. Also still nickel silver. I bought nickel silver rails. It looks more realistic in photographs and stuff, being shorter in the brown railroad ties. And the main reason here, see, I'll show you one. This is an Atlas snap switch, which most of the model railroaders say are crappy. There's some more high dollar switches or turnouts, but a lot of them put under the layout tortoise switches, and anyway, ends up a lot more money. These come with a little motor and button, and you just wire it, and and I've always used these, and I found them pretty easy and not bad quality. They used to be riveted here, and now they're not, which I think they've changed their quality. But anyway, this is a 18-degree curve. And a lot of the bigger locomotives, steam engines, 50-foot box cars and stuff, they don't like that tight of a corner. A lot of stuff says 22-inch radius minimum. I'm going to have large radiuses everywhere, but these turnouts would be 18 degrees, which might be a little tight for some. And I really wanted to use these. Well, then when I switched to searching and buying code 83 track, I found Atlas makes these in code 83 with a 22-degree turnout. So that's what I bought. I think that'll solve issues. Oh, I'm sitting in the center. This, I believe, is where I'll sit to operate the trains. So one last thing I have to do, I have to decide where I'm going to put my controller, and just build me a board out here with a leg on it to set that on. And then I think I'll have me a remote handheld. I'll add that later. Sorry, why did I touch the microphone? I always do that. Anyway, so I'll give you a look here of the layout now. It is now green. So if you sit in the middle, we can go all around now. So this is a 4x8 section on each end, and then this is a little over 2 foot wide across the middle. I don't know how long now. I didn't measure when I cut the center section out. I just cut it. So that I had some code 100. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, my phone holder just went droopy. Okay, so I bought some code 100 track just to mess with for sizes and things. So anyway, just to kind of give you a scale of, that's a 22-degree corner, which I'm going to do even bigger. So that's the scope. I mean, we can put several. I mean, we could put about 5 or 6 lines going down here one day, if we had to. So, darn it, I've got a drawing upstairs I was going to show you guys. I may pause and grab it. It's a kind of to scale. I did as best I could to scale, and of what I bought. So basically, I'm going to have a mainline loop, and then I'm going to have a crossover. So a switch here will come out, connect to another switch, and I'm going to have a double main line. So I'm going to have 2 loops that you can cross back and forth on for the main running lines. And then I'm going to put a passing track on the outside of the main line, maybe on the inside too. I don't remember, my drawing says passing track on the inside one. And then around here on this side, off of the inside loop, I'm going to come down to another main line that's going to go down here like that, and then it's going to branch lines off all the way down in here. And that'll be this side will be like a staging area for railroad cars. And I'll have a little switch engine and things. And I thought I'd put some, some grain elevators, maybe some hopper grain car loader things that the cars can go under and load grain and stuff in. And then on this side, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come off and then have lines down this way. And this will be kind of a locomotive staging area. And at first I thought about putting a roundhouse here and parking engines, locomotives in it. But, a lot of rail yards, around my area and stuff, they don't use roundhouses. I think that was a lot back in the steam era. They just park them in the rail yard. So I'm going to do that. So I think I'm going to have, this will be like a loco staging area. And I'm going to have like a diesel refueling maintenance area. And then over here, because I'm going to do some steam engines, I'm going to have like a coal chute and a water tower to load the steam engines. I may have some, not a roundhouse building, but a couple locomotive maintenance buildings, garages that the engines can back into. So that's the plan. So since I messed up, I will pause this and I'll go upstairs and we'll look at the drawing I have. Okay, so I'm upstairs now, so I'll show you this kind of rough drawing I have. Okay, so get the camera situated. Each one of two of these squares equals a foot. So try to do a scale. So yeah, so we got our 2 main lines. Like I said, I put a passing siding, looks like on the inside here, one on the outside. These are our crossover switches, connect the inside outside loop. So a train, they don't have to back out. They can go forward, in, out, or if they're coming this way, go forward, in, forward, out. Now back here, I got a passing siding, it looks like, and then see here, I'm dropping another crossover, double crossover is 2 switches kind of hooked together here to this. So my switching engine can be out here staging cars and be on this line and not interfere with the trains going up and down this main line. So this will be the staging area for the cars. Now with these switches, I don't know if I can turn this turn these to be straighter or at an angle. I drew them at an angle. I think it'll look better, but and then this side will be the locomotive staging area, like I said. So that's what I got for now. So I said we had room for 5 lines, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna have 5 lines here, so it'll be pretty full. So anyway, turning around here. So that's the plan. So next week, probably do an unboxing video of I ordered a lot. I have to figure out when the wife can be here because I had no choice. It automatically defaulted to signature required. Above a certain amount, they make you do that. So someone's got to be here to get it. So, but I should have all the switches and track and road bed for this layout. And then I bought 2 engines. I bought a big BNSF, and I bought a smaller old school Santa Fe yellow and blue engine. Remember, we're gonna do BNSF, and that'll allow us to do some old Santa Fe, old Burlington Northern before the merger, and then Union Pacific, because those are the railroads that service my area. And then we're going to add 2 railroads that don't service my area just because I really like them, and I like their paint schemes. Great Northern and Northern Pacific, which I think Great Northern is part of Northern Pacific now. They're not. I don't think they exist anymore. But so we're going to add those 2 railroad companies because I really like them. So I also bought a little switcher engine so I can test out staging cars in the yard. And I found a real nice switching engine, little switching engine that is a Great Northern. So I'm probably going to add I kind of like the way Burlington Northern switchers look, green and white. Probably going to add a Burlington Northern switcher at some point. And then the main locos will be, Union Pacific. So I'm doing the Santa Fe and the BNSF now. And then I got a few BNSF freight cars so that I can test my switches and my layouts. I bought one of them's a 50-footer, which is probably about as long as I'll get. So I can test as I'm laying the track, make sure I'm not causing any derailments or anything on the larger stuff. And the BNSF is one of the larger local locomotive diesels out there. It's a big 3-wheel set truck. It's a big engine. So if that and the 50-foot boxcar go over the whole track, I think I'm good. Because later I'd like to add a steam engine or 2, and sometimes those, I'd like a Union Pacific Challenger, which is a pretty big engine. It's just one set of drivers smaller than the big boy. So that's why I didn't do the super tight radiuses, and I'd like to be able to have a bigger steam engine someday. So, but anywho, so I will today. I'm going to build that board for the operating system to set on, which I think I mentioned earlier. I bought Digitrax Zephyr DCC system, operating system to begin with, and you can add a walk around throttle and stuff to that system later. And the Atlas snap switches, I'm just going to buy an old Tyco locomotive transformer and wire the switches off of that, which is old school. It's the way I used to do it. Later on, I think you can add decoders, and I can hook those switches in to work with my DCC throttle. That's on down the road. So I'd like to get some more rolling stock going, and then we'll search for buildings. I'm gonna be kind of picky in my buildings and get my buildings just right. And then once we get an area set up with the buildings and things, then we'll do the grass, and we'll probably start on the track ballasting. That can be done. But we'll have to, if you get a building and an area set, then we can do dirt and grass and trees and roads and things like that. So anyway, I'm kind of excited because I had already started my slot car journey well before I started YouTubing. So this is from the ground up beginning. So I don't have any footage of me building the bench work for the slot cars and painting it and buying my first sets of tracks and realized I got too tight of radiuses and I need bigger radiuses and things like that. So, which I do have some knowledge of the model railroading, having done it before. So I do know I didn't want tighter than a 22-inch radius anywhere on my track. But the DCC, digital control system, digital control CAD, I don't know what the other C stands for. Anyway, that's all new to me. So I think wiring of the track is simpler with it. So it'll be a learning curve there, but I kind of excited I get to film this from the very, very beginnings. So from my very first order that we're going to get in next week to laying the nail in the first track. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll add some short footage of our trip to Cincinnati. So I worked all day Thursday. My uncle did too. We left after work Thursday, made it all the way to St. Louis, about midnight or so, from South Central Kansas, and spent the night. We got up Friday morning and we drove all the way to Cincinnati, delivered the track, and we drove all the way back. So we got up at 6 in the morning, ate breakfast, and we drove till 1. I got home about 2 in the morning. So we drove all the way to Cincinnati, got there about 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and then we drove all the way back from Cincinnati to South Central Kansas. So anyway, I'll add some of that footage, and that's it for now. Thanks for watching Hancock Hobbies. There we go.
Wow, your bed is small.
All right. We are Thursday after work. We're headed to hopefully St. Louis tonight. My Uncle Ronnie. He saw my video how packed my little truck was, and he volunteered his truck in gas. So who am I to say no, right? So we are loaded and headed from Kansas to northernward tonight. All right. Hey, just a quick check-in. We're going through the Kansas Flint Hills, so I'd show everybody what those look like. Everybody thinks Kansas is all flat. Well, as soon as I say that, we're not in the hills anymore. Coming up through these trees, you'll see some hills. There we go.
Actually, we're coming up on prettier footage.
Oh, well, Uncle Ron says I filmed too early. But anyway, yeah, I mean, you head out western Kansas, yeah, there's a lot of cows and flatlands and wheat. But central Kansas, we've got some pretty areas still. There's some more of the Flint Hills.
I like that you can look for miles and not see a house.
Yeah. Let's see, we're probably about 110 miles south of Kansas City yet. So
after 100 feet, turn left.
All right, we are in Cincinnati, somewheres in Cincinnati. But we met with Bruce from Cincy Slots and delivered the goods. So Garage of Slot Cars is officially no more. I have no more slot car stuff. So anywho, says we got 11 hours and 11 minutes and 794 miles if we go straight home. So probably be the last update. And I'll post this. It was a
Montgomery Road.
quick, easy trip.